intelligence, using artificial intelligence to invest in artificial intelligence. The AI frenzy is alive and well, so that's what I want to talk about for a few minutes. Let's take a look at some of the things that could possibly go wrong in investing in AI. I will be posting some commentary on not just what can possibly go wrong, which you can see what we have posted here today. This is just a start, just a list of things that come to mind when I think about what could possibly go wrong. But in addition to these ideas, these basic things to be aware of and pay attention to in terms of investing in AI, I want to talk a little bit about the tools that I use to invest in AI. And frankly, I've been using AI, artificial intelligence, for many years, for many things, but it has become better and better and more applicable in the business of investing. So let's start by just taking a quick look at some of the tickers that we have. The first would be NVIDIA. So if you know anything about artificial intelligence, if you know anything about investing in a stock, you know NVIDIA. NVIDIA makes some amazing chips. If we look at some charts here, I'm just bouncing through a few of the charts for NVIDIA, and you can just see that it has had a rip to the upside recently. Will it last? That's a really good question. I'm thinking it's going to have to come back down to reality. This line that I'm pointing at right there on that chart is basically a 3 standard deviations above the mean. So when that happens in any investment, it tends to revert to the mean, and usually it does that pretty quickly, but who knows? So let's take another look. Let's take a look. There's several tickers here that I want to talk about in the weeks and months ahead. What I'm going to be working on is this is my watch list. I will be adding to it. But I want to create kind of a mini ETF that focuses on artificial intelligence. But the truth is, I don't know at this moment which of these stocks we would want to call. And I certainly know, or I would not be putting money into these funds today. They've just had too big of a run up. So back to the list of what could possibly go wrong. So let's talk about a couple of the things that could possibly go wrong. AI, artificial intelligence, has really impacted the world, and it will be impacting the world much more in the coming years. But there are so many things to be thinking about and concerned about and paying attention to in terms of this new technology. And it is still relatively new. So think back to the dot-com bubble and how everything that was internet just had went crazy for a while, and then it had a massive pullback. So right now we've got kind of a new technology, and some businesses are able to maximize this. Many businesses, eventually all businesses, will be using some form of artificial intelligence, even if we don't know it. So I've made a list of the major concerns, starting with some ethical dilemmas and the bias that is found in AI systems. So if you're not familiar with it, the algorithm that is artificial intelligence it leans very hard to the left. So academia, the government, the elites, the folks who are in charge of big tech, they've really influenced the language of AI. So that's the first thing I would be aware of and be looking for in terms of systems and what could possibly go wrong. I mean, AI is not what you might think. AI will make you think things that are not true, is what I'm trying to say. The next big one in my list is just job displacement, and there is some anxiety that automation will replace jobs, which has always been true about technology, but it's really true about AI. And so investing in AI is something that is, like I said, it's going to affect every business in America and every country that has access to technology, or the internet at least. So job displacement is a real thing. It's coming, and I think it will be somewhat epic depending on the industry or the sector. It will be absolutely game-changing in terms of giving folks like me the ability to use a tool that will really level the playing field. I'm thinking about investment research, and there's so many things I do as an investment advisor where AI becomes a tool that can help me do what I do faster and more efficiently and really better than I would be able to do it on my own, or even with a small team, which is what I do now. And I'm starting to see that some of the jobs in my business can be replaced or at least supplemented. We can do more with AI, which is true. The next big concern is privacy and data security, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about that right now. I've got a guest coming up. We're going to talk about cybersecurity in the next few weeks. And cybersecurity, privacy, data security, they're all kind of the same thing. Something that we all need to be aware of and be paying attention to. And when it comes to AI, we need to be paying attention to it even more. Next is the lack of transparency and explainability. That's an odd term. Let me explain explainability. So explainability is basically something to do with the model, the algorithm, the AI tool, the AI mechanism, if you will. And explainability refers to the concept of being able to understand the machine learning model. So one example is a healthcare model that predicts whether a patient is suffering from a particular disease or not. And when I think about explainability and I think about the other impact of AI, where we have this kind of algorithm that's creating, giving direction and advice, and when it comes to healthcare, when you think about, like I said before, it's a very left-leaning mechanism, AI, right now. And so on the left these days, there's so many new things. I think AI has helped to promote the idea that we don't just have men and women now, we have all kinds of other options. Imagine that. And imagine healthcare and AI being used in a system where you're trying to figure out what do you do and what's next and how do you treat this, that, or the other thing, when the whole system is now considering the possibility that not only do we have men and women, but we have all of these in-betweens. And it becomes this massive scam, if you ask me, designed to promote and sell products and services that never existed before. And that's, to me, it's downright evil if you believe in the family, the institutional family. The family was the first institution endorsed and ordained by God, but with multiple options apart from men and women, which is only politically correct these days. When I think about AI and I think about, diagnosis, analysis, and all of the things that go into research in any scientific field, when you throw in all of the new stuff that has been created in the last 5 minutes, it becomes one of the things I would say you need to look at closely. Transparency. So many opportunities for AI to create non-true information. And so next is manipulation and deepfakes. I think that's really what I've been talking about already. But you can think about the news media, the dominant news media the internet, the way that you get your news. How do you get your news? When I think about where my news comes from and the influence that AI can have now, if you understand technology, and I do to some extent, it is a little scary to think and know that you can be manipulated, you can be faked out, you can be absolutely convinced that something is true when in reality it's absolutely manufactured. And AI is one of the biggest reasons for that. And it has been for some time, but it's going to be more and more of a concern. Safety and security risks, so much to say. Every one of these topics will be reconsidered in the future. I'll do a post and a conversation, a video on each one. So I've got some FAQs. Is AI going to take over the world? It's not, but it's going to try. What I say is, so AI will be able to automate, I believe, an infinite number of tasks, which means that's going to have a big impact on a lot of people and a huge impact on industries and businesses and companies, including their stock and the valuation of their stock. And we'll be talking about that very much in the future. But basically, AI is a tool. It's a tool that's designed and controlled and manipulated by humans. And so, I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel like it's a tool, like a hammer. I can do a lot of damage with a hammer. I have an air hammer with a chisel on the end of it, and I can do a lot of damage with that air hammer or with just a regular hammer. But the truth is, with AI, it's a tool just like a hammer. You can do a lot of damage with it, but you can also fix things. Sometimes you need a big hammer to fix things. So it's not going to take over the world. It's a tool. And it's a tool that, if it's in the right hands, can be used for good. And if it's in the wrong hands, it can be used and will be used for evil. Can an AI system be completely unbiased? Here's where I get into what I believe is coming next, and it's bigger government to protect you and me from the system called AI. My answer is you can't achieve complete bias in an AI system. And right now, if you just take a close look, you will see that what's generated from artificial intelligence is so prone to the message of the left, almost Marxism, if you will. It's incredible to me the influence that AI has had injected into it through left-leaning, liberal, not even liberal, just contemporary, postmodern, very have it your way kind of culture, including have it your way. You can say you're a man even though you're a woman, or you can say you're a woman even though you're a man. It's insane. And that's what's influenced the language of AI significantly, in my opinion. So will it ever be unbiased? I don't think so, but the government's going to I believe the government will try to manage AI coming forward. Moving forward, we will see Congress come out with some very strong recommendations, and we will need some. Elon Musk says the same thing. We have to have some laws and a structure to govern AI. It's that critical, and I believe that's important. So wait for it. The government is going to come to your rescue. More government, bigger government. And that's what measures will be taken to protect your privacy in AI. More government. Hi, I'm from the government. I'm here to help. I remember Ronald Reagan said that. Let's see. So a couple more questions here. I'm not going to get into these now, but I am going to say that what's coming next is I want to share how I use AI in the work that I do as an investment advisor, as a portfolio manager, in the research, the portfolio design. There's so many ways that AI has been integrated into Bayrock Financial, my company. And so I'm going to be talking about that over the next several weeks, months, and years, because AI is not going anywhere. And so I want to be transparent about how I'm using AI and how I have been. I started using AI years ago, over a decade ago, when I started teaching at the University of Houston at the Bauer College of Business. I teach personal finance, and we've always, at least since I've been there, we've always used AI to identify plagiarism. And it's interesting to me that AI is the tool that we used to look for and identify plagiarism in homework, student assignment homework. And today, I would submit that AI is so good that you absolutely need AI to identify AI on the one hand, and if you're skilled at using artificial intelligence, and the tools that are out there are just amazing. I'll be sharing some of those with you in the future. But if you're skilled in using those tools, you can create work, content that is seriously better than most people can create. Even talented, skilled people, certainly faster than human beings can, no question about it. But my point is, it's going to be very difficult to identify plagiarism and AI, because the AI is so good that it's almost not even, well, it's difficult to identify AI written content, even using AI to identify it. So that's it for today. I just wanted to start off a conversation about AI, the AI frenzy, the AI mania that's affected the stock market. So I'm going to jump over and look at some stocks again. It's Tuesday, 30 of May, year of our Lord 2023. We just had Memorial Day yesterday. And so I'm looking at this chart of NVIDIA. NVIDIA would be the poster child for AI, I think, and the AI mania, AI frenzy is happening in the stock market right now. I have been recommending to clients that we sell off at least half of our NVIDIA holdings and wait for it to pull back and invest again. And so you can see today, if I look at a 30-minute chart, I'll look at a 5-day, 30-minute chart if I can find it. And you can see, if you look down here, it's not going anywhere today, and it's come back. It was 419.38, NVIDIA was earlier in the day, and now it's at 400. Let's see what SMH is, the ETF, the exchange traded fund that is right now being driven by NVIDIA. Let's see. I'm going to take a look at SO. If you wanted to short the semis, the semiconductors, you would do SOXS, and it is actually green at the moment. I have rarely ever used inverse ETFs, especially triple and double. There's so much risk in these, and I rarely have ever used this for a client's account. But I did Friday. I put on a couple of trades selling a put contract for $11.50 for June, middle of June, I guess. And man, today it just kept going down because it's an inverse ETF. So if you look at SMH went up so much. I mean, this is unusual for an ETF. This is, to me, AI mania, AI frenzy. This stock chart kind of shows you what that looks like. NVIDIA even more. But like I said at the beginning, these charts tell me very clearly that these unbelievable gains will be reversed and normalized, come back to the mean, and we will want to get into these. This is not something that's going away, but there's going to be a lot of volatility, not just in the market, but in the semiconductors, in the IA world, and some of the things I talked about in this video. they're all listed in the post. You can click on a link to, if you're watching the video on YouTube, which I hope you will subscribe to my channel. It's a new channel. You'll see we have a handful of subscribers at the moment. So I hope you'll subscribe to the channel, and you will be notified if you hit that little bell. You'll be notified when I do new videos. And I will be posting all of my videos now to the same channel, Jim Munchback. Munchback has no K. There's no K in Munchback. So Munchback at Jim Munchback. Munchback has an H on the end. So click that little bell, hit the subscribe, and you will, in fact, I might put that right in this. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start putting a link in the image in the post everywhere I have this little gizmo. That way you can just click on that and subscribe. And I'm going to go back and do that right now as soon as I end this video. So have a great day.